Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. It's just a little bit cold, but we're going to get over that just fine. Today, we're going to be going over Rosa and everything you need to know about her for the upcoming Final Fantasy IV event. All right, everyone. Well, Rosa is a ice element bow unit. And before you even say it, I know what you're thinking. Bow meta. That's never going to happen. Sorry, guys. For those of you out there who are like, bow meta, bow meta, bow meta, it's never going to happen. Get out of here. No, she's a really good unit. And for a bow unit, she's pretty good. But she's not going to be bringing no bow meta with her. Her primary job is Baron's White Mage. Secondary job is White Mage and Black Mage. Primary weapon is bow. Armor is going to be hat, cloth, and accessory. Her TMR, the Rosa Valletta, is an accessory that gives HP 282, Spirit 10, and Critical Evasion 10. I actually really like the ability, which gives her Graceful Shooter, increasing magic 50% and attack 50% for 3 turns to self. Personally, I've been really enjoying the little Leela TMR, which gives magic 80% on the individual unit and accuracy. And I've actually been craving another magic percentage boost TMR to put on one of my units, or an attack boost TMR that I can put on some of my units, because not all units have self magic and attack buffs, and being able to access those on TMRs is very powerful depending on the circumstances. So I'm very excited for this TMR ability. Her mastery ability increases magic 10% for herself and increases spirit 10 for herself. In terms of elemental resistances, she's weak to fire and has 20% wind resistance. She's 10% weak to slashing, 5% weak to piercing, and 5% weak to blunt as well. She has a 15% resistance to magic and is kind of neutral against missile. Her limit break heals 310x for allies, but not herself. And it also increases 20x for allies, but not herself at all. And it also costs a staggering 58 AP. Her base stats are 1,964 HP, which ranks her 41st. Her attack is 224, which ranks her 35th. And her magic is 236, which ranks her 14th. She gets plus 62 magic and plus 46 attack, putting her over 300 magic, and putting her at about 270 attack. Her agility 52 does get plus 5, putting it at 57, still a little bit low there. Dex 153 puts her at 36th place, but she gets plus 11. And then Luck 129 is really low, and she gets plus 32 from that. She does have one other passive on her ability board, which gives her agility plus 10%, giving her another 5 agility here, balancing her out at about 63 agility, which is, not bad for her. The one concern I would just have right away, just looking at everything, is the imbalance of attack and magic, and we're going to talk about that as we get into her abilities here. One other concern I would also have, she does not have weakness to missile, but she is weak to fire, being an ice element unit, and we have to keep in mind that Luartha will be coming out over the next week or two, and that's going to be a fire element gunner, and she's going to be pretty good at killing Rosa. Those of you that know Kisang in the channel, he does give us permission to show off limit breaks from his channel. So here is what Rosa's limit break is going to look like. Not bad, I would say. Again, I would say this limit break, though, is not fully worth it to level. I think you're going to get more bang for your buck leveling another limit break on another character. Now let's talk about the passives and the counters, because they're a little bit weird here. So the Baron White Mage has a passive that gives increased range 1 on basic attack, increases Male Killer 20% on basic attack. Historically, we've seen Male Killer get changed to Maneater. We've also seen it increase like Ice Attack in some situations. So this is going to be one passive we're going to have to watch for when she is released, because if this is like crazy good, or if it's modified to maybe give like ice attack plus 20 on things that are not the basic attack. This could be really good. The other thing that's a little awkward about this is that it is geared towards basic attacks. So it's a little weird, and we're going to have to watch and adjust as we're going in the future around it. The Nullified Doom from White Mage sub, useful as we saw in the Bloody Moon trial. So make sure you do at least have that node unlocked. You're probably going to be using Blessings of Ice though, which upgrades one of her skills, Frozen Arrow, and gives her another plus 12% agility on herself. She also gets Magic up level 1, which gives her an additional Magic 30%. And she also gets Reflex, although it's called Dodge. It's a 15% chance to dodge physical and magical attacks. So it's pretty much like Reflex version 2.0. I would say it's pretty good. You're going to want to set it. I mean, you're going to set it. Forget her other counters. Just set this. In terms of her main abilities, she has a pretty cool kit. Inori, one of her primary healing abilities, heals 210 HP. This is essentially Curata. The difference between this ability and Curata is that this has 1 less range and costs 3 less TP. So even if you're not sub-white mage on her, you will have access to a Curata-based ability. She does have Pure Prayer, and an important note here is that it does heal stop for allies, which is a big deal, right? So keep that in mind. She gets access to Holy. She gets access to Frozen Arrow, and the upgraded version is going to be a 200x modifier attack, which decreases ice resistance 38% for 3 turns to target. And she does get access to Sharpshoot. Now, in terms of her sub-jobs, she gets access to Silence Arrow and Hail Shower, which is essentially kind of in a way Barrage. Do I think you're going to be using all of these abilities? Probably not. And I left them all on because you're going to have to make a choice with her. You're going to have to decide if you really want to lean in towards the magic build with her, or if you want to lean in towards the missile build with her. And we can talk a little bit about that here. You can see that she does have access to Holy, and it's a 220% modifier, 100% chance guaranteed hit. And her ice arrows are pretty strong as well. Her primary weapon, though, modifies magic attack. It doesn't modify missile attack. And it gives magic attack plus 20. So when you're looking at these abilities, I think you have to consider what your team composition is and what you're going for, right? Why is she in your party? What's she doing to support you? Do you have plus ice attack by chance? That is something that, you know, maybe you're running her in an all ice composition and you want her to decrease ice resistance on the enemy. This could be really big in raids, for example, if you're running an all ice chaining group. If you're running her with light element units and you have plus light attack on, through like the red Chocobo card, Holy could actually be more powerful for her. Or maybe if she's running in a composition of mages, Holy could also be more powerful for her because she does have higher magic and she does have access to that magic passive, and her primary weapon modifies magic attack and it also gives more magic than attack. So these are all kind of things to think about with her. She's gonna be an interesting unit to build, and I would definitely be interested in hearing how you plan on building her. In terms of weapons, your primary weapon is going to be from the event, which is a UR bow, which gives magic attack 20. You can also use Killer Bow, though, which is probably when you're going to want to use the Frozen Arrow here and Sharpshoot. Killer Bow, though, I mean, it's only going to be good for physical attack. It's not going to add magic. So then you're kind of going to be in this spot, well, you know, what's she being used for? Why are you utilizing her that way? Etc. Is there a better unit that could do her job better? She's a little confused. And I think there's going to be a lot of people who use her inappropriately because they turn the wrong abilities off because they're using a bow that has magic attack, for example, or they're going to try and go a physical attack route but leave her magic abilities on. It'll be interesting to see. In terms of her sub-job, she also has access to Black Mage. Now, this would be another question you want to ask yourself if you want her to cast these spells or not. Honestly, I think she would probably be better off just casting Holy. You have a lot more attacks that modify light attack than ice attack right now. So you're probably better off with Holy, which also has a higher modifier and 100% chance to hit. Also, you're missing some substantial Black Mage spell Flare here, which is really powerful and is sometimes accessed from Black Mage subjobs. So again, I don't think you're going to be seeing her sub Black Mage. Very similar with her White Mage subjob, you are actually missing Full Life. So when you ask yourself, what do you get out of subbing White Mage for her? The honest answer is you get Curaga, and that's pretty much it, right? Because in her primary kit, she already has access to an Esuna-like ability, and she already has access to a Curada-like ability. The only thing this does is it gives her Esuna ability a single target and a range. Curada has one more space that it can hit, and Curaga can AoE heal. Now, of course, she could AoE heal with her Limit Break, but that's pretty limiting. I would say it's going to be a tough call on what her best subjob is. I think going through here and looking at everything, I would probably... Not sure why this is so jacked up on the left side. Sorry, guys. I'm like, why is my ability screen all jacked up? I would probably leave her on subjob Baron's White Mage. But even then, like, I'm probably going to gear mine for Holy if I'm running her. I don't know. She's a complex unit. And it's really going to be dependent on how you're running her. I see her as more of a either Holy Nuker and Healer, or I see her as having the archetype of a like shooter or a gunner. And I think she can do either well. She's just lacking a really good bow for shooting. Granted, like killer bow, like we talked about, but even then, that's not like the best bow, right? So it's just, she's a little confused. And I think you have to have the right composition to run her. And you'll probably be running her in like an ice slash composition and using her to lower the target's ice resistance. In terms of equipment, you're going to want to run the Elfin Bow. You do have to finish the Trials of Reckoning in order to max out the Elfin Bow. So that is something to keep in mind as well. If you are chasing Kane as well, the Wind Spear is also locked behind the Trials of Reckoning. And you are going to have to +5 this, and it gives magic attack +20. For TMRs, you could actually use Howlet's Coat, Kaleido Moon, or Wolf Hairband. Howlet's Coat, though, I'm just kind of eyeing it right now because I don't think any units actually use his TMR ability. We're going to have to check it out. I have yet to see it happen, and I really wish they did. If you don't have access to the Elfin Bow, your best bet is probably going Reincarnation as a support Rosa. Otherwise, I would most likely run probably the Killer Bow and go more for a shooting Rosa with mild healing support. In terms of equipment, Platinum Robe or Smart Coat, Wolf Mask actually would be really good if you have like a shield Wolf Mask. And of course, Sage's Hat would be fine. Although, honestly, she has such low luck that you're probably not going to be evading anything. In terms of vision cards, we do have Trousseau, Frederica's Dream, so you could go the magic attack route. You could go the Frederica's Dream route for missile attack, Rama for the magic. You could go and throw some defensive VCs on. Fenrir, you know, JP got the update that Fenrir actually got party-wide ice attack on him. So he could be good in the future on her. Ifrit for the attack up as well. And of course, Red Chocobo for Holy. Or I keep wanting to call this the Cthulhu card, but the Mind Flayer card. I called him Soul Flayer one time and people lost their minds. Sorry guys, I played Final Fantasy XI and they were called Soul Flayers in Final Fantasy XI. In terms of espers, we're looking at Siren, Diablos, Ramu, Shiva if you're going for the magic route, or maybe more defensive magic agility route. Or, of course, Tetrasylphid for the missile attack up. Important note here as well, you could actually use the Chocobo Esper that's coming out, because the Chocobo Esper is going to be kind of like the next real missile attack Esper that we can put on our units. So that is also going to be an option for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. As always, if you are going to be pulling on the Final Fantasy IV banner, please use my affiliate link, dig.gs/coins or dig.gs/offer. And, of course, make sure you swing by our Discord at dig.gs/discord. Say hi, and I look forward to seeing you guys on stream later tonight. We will be doing our polls right at Reset live on both YouTube and Twitch, and I hope to see you guys there.